thank you so much for being here. So the point of Enchanted April is to actually find some enchantment in this really difficult time. So today we're going to be thinking about living in the day, living in the moment. The quotation for the day comes from my book, Shelter for the Spirit, and it says, "Forever and next weekend can take care of themselves. You take care of today." So I'm reminded as I talk about Shelter for the Spirit and I think about what was going on way back then. We're talking about in the late 1990s. And I got a call. And this woman said, "I'm a producer on the Oprah Winfrey Show." Well, you know, if you were a writer of self-help books in the 1990s, that was the call you prayed for. And I was in Washington, D.C. at the very end of my book tour, and the call came in, and the producer said, "Are you available on Tuesday? We want you with Shelter for the Spirit." And I said, "Oh, no, you don't understand. That was the previous book. This book is Creating a Charmed Life." And she said, "We want Shelter for the Spirit." And the subtext there was, authors are a dime a dozen. They're all lined up around the block right now. If you want to come on with Shelter for the Spirit, you can come on. If not, next. So, of course, not to say no to Oprah, I went home, and they were going to come to my home in Kansas City, where I was then living, to film something they used to call Remembering Your Spirit. It was a little thing at the end to go with a show that they had done about organizing with Julia Morgenstern, the professional organizer. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rob. And so they did. They came. They spent 9 hours to get this wonderful 6-minute segment at the end. But it was a really magical story. And later I was talking to the producer, and I said, "How did you happen to find my book?" And she said, "You know, this is going to sound weird when I tell you, but it was actually," hi Beth, "as if I was standing in our book room and it fell off the shelf." She said, "I'm sure that isn't really what happened, but that seemed like what happened." So for whatever happened, that's just one of the stories of my life. And I hope that you're remembering wonderful stories from your life to make this time, this odd time, a little bit better. So I see that Peter Cervoni has come on. He is a wonderful chef, and he's doing some great things with vegan seafood. Good catch. So check that out. So Peter and everybody else, please share with us what you had for breakfast, or maybe what you wish you had had for breakfast. Because we're dealing here in New York City, at least, I wouldn't say food shortages at all, but definitely kind of food limitations, which is a complete luxury problem, because certainly for people like me, I've got enough food to last for weeks and weeks, but it's not necessarily the, oh golly, that's really what I'd like to eat. So it's been a little hard to find things like natural peanut butter or the ketchup and vegan mayo that my husband is always telling me we're out of, as if I could make it appear, and I wish I could make it appear, although I guess some people actually can. Do you have Miyoko Shinner's book, Artisanal Vegan Kitchen? She tells you how to make that stuff out of practically nothing. But anyway, this morning I had oatmeal. Now, I know oatmeal is really good for you, and it lowers your cholesterol, and you can do stuff with it. You can kind of make a parfait with bananas and berries and flax meal and toasted wheat germ and maple syrup, but I didn't have any of that stuff. All I had was this little packet that I had once gotten at a Starbucks, and it had some of those golden raisins in it and some dried cranberries. So I pulled that poor little thing out, and as soon as I did, I remembered that morning and that Starbucks where I got the packet. It was a lovely morning, and I actually shared a table with this totally divine gentleman who had grown up in Harlem, and he was back visiting. He lives in Florida now, and I remember being so grateful to be of a certain age when you're allowed to have fabulous encounters with highly attractive people, and nobody thinks anything of it. So I put my golden raisins and my crimson cranberries onto my oatmeal, and I realized this is still gruel. And then I thought of that song from the musical Oliver. Now, I won't sing it, because if you ever heard me sing, you'd be glad of that. But in this song, the children in Oliver Twist's orphanage are lamenting how little food they get. And it goes something like, every day we say our prayer, will they change the bill of fare? Still, we get the same old gruel. But there's nothing to stop us from getting a thrill when we close our eyes and imagine food, glorious food. So I went to YouTube, I listened to the song, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed as I ate my gruel. So you want maybe to check that out too. And if you want to share with us what you had for breakfast or what you wished you'd had for breakfast, that would be cool to see. Now, speaking of musical theater, William and I are going to watch Jesus Christ Superstar this afternoon, the wonderful production that they did a couple of years ago with John Legend playing Jesus. So it has become our Palm Sunday tradition. And I'm finding a lot of comfort in traditions right now, the long-standing ones and the recent ones too. So if you are celebrating Palm Sunday today, I wish you a beautiful holiday. And everybody else, I wish you a beautiful day, because that's really our topic this morning from my book, Shelter for the Spirit. Forever and next weekend can take care of themselves. You take care of today. Now, to me, this has never been more crucial, because in my life, at least right now, with the coronavirus and being at the center of it and being the age where if I get it, it's really dangerous and all that, I found myself, despite a lifetime of spiritual seeking, despite having written 13 self-help books and read at least 10 times that many, I fell into despair. And I got an email that provoked some discomfort, nothing tragic, not enough information yet to know if I need to worry, but still, I kind of let it get me off. And then I was reading from Dr. Fauci and other people who know that even if we flatten the curve on the virus, they're predicting a resurgence in the fall. And I'm thinking, my goodness, does that mean we're going to shut everything down again? Or if we don't shut everything down again, then I'll probably get it? And I'm going on and on in my head down this road that I absolutely should not have gone down. Now, what I could have done with that information was to think about today's quotation. This personal thing that I'm worried about, I could think about that on Monday. And the autumn recurrence, you know what? If that is indeed coming or maybe coming, then I could use the day that I'm in to get some really rigorous exercise, improve my lung function, and have some green juice and some kale. I actually do have that stuff on hand. And then I'll be stronger and better in the fall than I am now, whether there's a recurrence or not. But I didn't do that. I left the weight of those negative thoughts take me into future think. Now, I have something in my life that maybe you can relate to, maybe not. Hey, Ramona, that's Ramona Cadigan. She's a fabulous power lifter out there on Long Island. Wonderful vegan power lifter. Ooh, Nancy, sourdough pancakes. Ooh, that sounds great. I love sourdough anything. I am a great fan of the umami flavor. But anyway, for me, I can see the level of my spiritual fitness in my willingness to wash lettuce. When I'm really feeling that I'm on top of things, I'm very pleased with how I'm living my life, how things are going, then I want to have kale salad. But when I'm not feeling so hot, then I want other food. Now, I am blessed with these days. I don't want awful, awful food, but I kind of want easy food and sort of food that reminds me of what I used to eat as a kid. So yesterday for lunch, feeling woe is me, I ended up with the last 2 little 5-ounce tubs of vegan yogurt, and I did chop an apple in there, and that was the best I could do. But I knew it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And so I read a little and I wrote a little and I talked with a couple of people, and by dinner I was able to make arugula salad, baked potatoes, and roasted garlic. So take that garlic coronavirus. So even though we do have a future to prepare for, we can really do that, I think, most efficiently and effectively by living today fully. So I'm loving these breakfast postings. Chantal, oatmeal with peanut butter and banana, only because I made cinnamon and chocolate rolls yesterday. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. But something else I'd love to ask for you guys to put into the comments is, what do you need to fit into your day to make it a really successful day, to make it a day that when you go to bed at night you say, you know what, I aced that one. So for me, I need to meditate, and I'm finally in the habit of doing that twice a day, which is pretty powerful. I also need to straighten things up around the apartment, especially because we're here all the time. I didn't used to care so much about neatness or, rereading my Marie Kondo books, but now I do, because I'm looking at this place all the time, and what I see affects what's inside. They say in Feng Shui that you can change your life if you move 27 things in your house. So I turn that into 27 pickup. I also write about that in the book Shelter for the Spirit, that I go around and I just pick up 27 things. Now, if you are a total neat freak, you're probably thinking, oh my God, what a messy person she must be to have 27 things to pick up. Well, I do. And it really, really helps to do that little pickup. Now, I need to do yoga, because that's something I started when I was 18. It's a place where I recognize myself. I sit on that mat in a cross-legged position, and in an instant, I know I'm back. I know I'm with myself. I know what's going on. And I also need every day, especially now, to laugh. So night before last, we had rented Annie Hall, laughed like maniacs, and it was transcendent. Jasmine Singer! Hey, Jasmine Singer! Jasmine Singer is a fabulous writer. If you haven't read her book, Always Too Much and Never Enough, did I say that right? Jasmine, post the name of your book if I said it backwards. Jasmine's also working with the Kinder Beauty Box, which is my favorite little monthly gift. Kinder Beauty Box, all vegan, all natural, from Ivana Lynch and Daniela Monet. Oh, it's so much fun. It's like having a birthday every 30 days, but you don't have to get any older. So anyway, that's about what I have to say about living in the day, and I'm sure you have lots to say about it too, and I would love to read your comments later and just hear about what you need to fit in your day to make it just as it is meant to be. So a couple of things you might want to take note of. One is that today, in fact pretty quick, at 12:30 U.S. Eastern Time, I'll be doing a Zoom webinar with Thomas Jackson, who is the filmmaker of A Prayer for Compassion, which is a beautiful, beautiful documentary. If you haven't seen it, you can now get it on Amazon Prime, and you want to put in A Prayer for Compassion film, and it'll take you right there. And at 12:30, we are going to do this webinar where we'll be talking about vegan living and how it really reflects the teachings of the world's great religions and of spirituality in general. So this is interactive. You can ask about vegan stuff, about filmmaking. Maybe you've got a film in your mind and you would love to talk to someone who made, hey Barry out there in Colorado, someone who made a very successful film that started with a budget of Zero. And I know that because I'm the producer and I was there when our budget started with zero. And I remember the day we got the first $35. Well, we've had a film with a really nice theatrical run, and now we're on Amazon Prime, which is totally, totally cool. So there is a Facebook event for that called Veganism and Spirituality, a webinar with filmmaker Thomas Jackson. So all the information for connecting is there. If you don't find it, just email me, Victoria, at mainstreetvegan.net, and I'll give you all the information you need. And also, if you have kids at home and you're homeschooling and you never wanted to be a homeschooler, Karen Ramsey, a wonderful educator and homeschooling mom, and I are going to be doing a class, a webinar, Tuesday, 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So if you happen to be homeschooling or know somebody who is doing that temporarily and would love some help and support, we are offering that. I'll be posting it on all my Facebook pages, and if you don't see it, again, just email me, Victoria at mainstreetvegan.net, and we'll try to get some help out there to parents who are saying, oh my gosh, I love my kids, but this is a lot of being with my kids. So blessings on your day. So this day, this most important day that ever was, because it's the one we've got, thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for sharing it with others. It means the world. All the best. See you tomorrow.